What's going on, Nerd Nation? It's your boy, Chris, joined by my guys, Miles, Alex. We've been watching football all day. What's going on, fellas?
Yo, what's going on, boys? Glad to have the NFL season back, man. NFL week one is always a good week.
Yes, sir. I'm a happy guy today, as y'all can probably tell. I'm ready to talk about it.
Boo, boo.
Yeah, I mean, I see, look, you're all eagled out.
Yes, sir.
So we can start with your team. What happened today? 32-6 win over the Falcons. I know you probably watched every snap, so I'll let you take it
Every
away.
single snap. Yep, you know it. No, man, it was a really good game for the Eagles. The Falcons looked really bad. The first two drives, the Falcons were moving the ball. They had a good run game. The Eagles couldn't really seem to stop the run, and then they get to the red zone, get down um, within the 5 yard line, and they couldn't score a touchdown. They got a field goal each time. And then after that, their offense just went completely stagnant. Couldn't really do anything. Calvin Ridley was a non-factor. The run game was non-factor. Matt Ryan couldn't do anything. And but I don't want to take away, as great as the defense was and as bad as the Falcons looked in offense, I'm not going to take anything away from how really good Jalen Hurts looked, and the rest of the offense looked today. I know he surprised a lot of people with this kind of performance. The thing that surprised me the most was his accuracy. He was 27 of 35, um, 264, three touchdowns and 62 yards on the ground. It was really good. Just watching the offense work like that, watching Miles Sanders be used in a majority of different ways. Kenny Gainwell, the backup running back, got his first touchdown as a rookie. That first catch to Devontae Smith, I saw it happening. I was watching Smith right when this ball was snapped. It was a little rub route, got wide open. It was a perfect ball, perfect catch. It was great, man. The Eagles really dominated on both lines. That's what I was talking about last week. The defensive line was dominant against the Falcons' offensive line, and the Eagles' offensive line were just bullying the Falcons' defensive line in the second half, especially just moving them out of the way. Jordan Mailata, who just signed an extension, their left tackle, was just mauling people. And if you don't know who this guy is, you need to go look up his rugby highlights, because he didn't start playing football until 3 years ago when they drafted him. And before that, he played rugby in Australia, and he is a monster of a human being. So uh, if you're curious, go look him up. But yeah, man, the Eagles just absolutely dominated. They were just the better team overall, and it was just great to see Nick Sirianni's offense just go to work like that.
Terrible to see. Terrible to see as a Washington football team fan today. I will say, you guys look good. The Eagles put it on the Falcons pretty good. Obviously, I had on the Washington football team game. Had a second screen, but I was showing red zone on that. So as much they didn't really go to this game after a while because it became such a blowout. But from the
Yeah.
numbers, it just looks like a completely dominant game. So
Yeah, just to add a few points, the rushing in the first half for the Falcons, they had 110 yards and 19 carries in the first half. In the second half, they had 7 carries for 14 yards. Um,
Hmm.
and in the first quarter, Matt Ryan was 8 of 13 for 58 yards, and then through the last 3 quarters, he was 13 of 22 for 106. So it was just a completely dominant performance. The Eagles defense made some adjustments. I was really skeptical under their new defensive coordinator. I had never heard of the guy. He's really young. They're alternating between a 3-4 and a 4-3. Whenever that happens, it's never usually that good. So I know it's just one game. The Falcons didn't look good at all. So I'm going to take that game with a grain of salt. But Jalen Hurts was only the third player in NFL history to have a game where he completed 75% of his passes, threw 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, had 250 yards passing and 60 yards rushing. Only two other guys in NFL history have done that. Kyler Murray being one of them last year, and then some guy named Ken Anderson in the 70s did it as well. So shout out to Ruben Frank from NBC Sports Philly for that stat. That's a crazy stat, and it just gets me excited for Jalen Hurts this year.
I can dig it, man. I don't really have much negative to say right now. I'll let you kind of live on this one, but I will say next week I'm pretty sure you guys got the 49ers, so
Yep.
it's going to be a lot bigger of a test for you guys.
I'm excited for that. Yeah. After watching this, knowing the competition of how low it was, seeing, the Eagles play against very high quality competition. A lot of people think they can even get to the Super Bowl, the 49ers, that is. So, I'm excited for that.
Definitely. I mean, from there, we can go over to me and Miles' favorite team. Unfortunately, today suffered a 20-16 loss at the hands of the Los Angeles Chargers. It was a rough one, especially for the offense, for the football team in this one. Fitzpatrick, quarterback, got hurt in the second quarter. The offensive line in the first half especially was just terrible. Really, Fitzpatrick was getting killed. Finally, he got hurt. Heineke stepped in, actually provided a good spark. He was 11 for 15 on the game, 122 yards and a touchdown. I thought he played decent. Obviously, he's not like a starting quarterback, or else he would have been starting beforehand, but I thought he did what he could. I mean, this team needs to get a quarterback, and apparently we definitely need to get a line to protect him. That's my biggest takeaways from the game. What did you guys see?
100%, man. I mean, like I think this was going to be one of the biggest question marks coming into the season was Ryan Fitzpatrick, his health. I mean, dude's been in the league for a long time. He's old. I mean, I know injuries can happen to anybody, but I mean, it's not a good sign him going down in week one. Like you mentioned, Chris, though, Heineke, he did step in. He played well. Hopefully that shows some promise moving forward into the season. And this game was still winnable, but
100%.
I guess just execution down the stretch, it wasn't always there. And it's unfortunate because this is a game that would have been good season starter. I don't know, the Washington football team fans, we always get hyped when we start off the season well, even though we know how it's going to play out most of the time. But hey, a win is a win, and we were expecting that. Couldn't pull the victory out this week, but I think we'll be back next week. Hopefully Heineke gets some good reps in practice this week, and hopefully he can carry if Fitzpatrick's not able to make it back.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this matchup, it was two good teams. The Chargers were on the up at the end of last year. Justin Herbert, former offensive rookie of the year. He's a stud. He's going to be very good in this league for a long time. Obviously, Washington had the second best defense in the league last year, and in the first half that showed. Actually, throughout the game it showed, only giving up 20 points, and we're not really allowing Herbert and Austin Eckler to have really good games. Herbert had 300 yards, but it wasn't a very efficient 300 yards. He had a lost fumble, an interception, 31-47, so not the best performance from him, but give credit to the Washington defense. They're very good. So it was a good game from what I saw. Obviously, like Chris said, I watched every single snap of the Eagles-Falcons game, so I was keeping up with what was going on in Washington. And if Washington's defense can play like that, they're going to keep them in some games. I'm just worried about your quarterback situation. Obviously, I mean, we don't know what Taylor Heineke is. We know what Fitzpatrick is, but if he's hurt, then we just don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I mean, we did hold them to 20 points, and I think 25 is good enough to win pretty much any game in the NFL on any given day. So, yeah, the offense just got to pick it up and make up for what – I mean, just do – the defense is carrying their weight, and I think the offense just kind of needs to at least catch back up and at least become average at best. I mean, we can't be flown below average. So, yeah. The quarterback situation's always been kind of the question mark for the Redskins or the Washington football team. It's been very inconsistent over the years. We haven't had a quarterback for probably more than like 5
Never.
years.
Not since we've been alive. You haven't had a franchise quarterback.
Exactly. Ever since I've been paying attention to football, it's just always been a quarterback here for maybe 2 years. I remember Jason Campbell was probably one of the longest quarterbacks I've seen with the franchise. And if that says anything about this Redskins, I mean, yeah, we got to get a good quarterback though. Cam Newton, I don't know if he's still out there. At least consider it, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, look, I felt like we should have won this game, actually, even with the quarterback play. there. Antonio Gibson. I'll start with him. We had just intercepted Herbert. It was either late in the third quarter or early fourth quarter, and we got the ball inside our own 5-yard line. And on the first play, they hand it to Antonio Gibson, and he fumbles the ball. Chargers get the ball. Obviously, they got 3 or 4 yards to go. They punch it in, take the lead. They went up 20-16 at that point, and then couldn't score from there. Also, towards the end of the game, there was some questionable decisions with not going for it on fourth down, punting the ball with about 5 minutes left. And not only that, they ran the clock all the way down before they punted the ball. It was typical Washington football team, just mess up after mess up, clock management issues, just pretty much any way that you can throw away a football game. We did it. And then, even then, defense, 5 minutes left. We had all our timeouts. We pinned them inside the 10-yard line. And the Chargers drove all the way down the field and ran the clock out. So defense was good until we needed them one more time, and they just couldn't do it. So tough game. I will say Justin Herbert, I believe that he's the truth. A lot of the throws he was making on third down, especially on that final drive, were tight window throws, putting the ball where only his guy could catch it. And sometimes you just got to take your hat off to quarterback making good plays. Shouldn't have come down to that, though. Just tough game, man.
Yeah. It's going to be a long season for you guys if the quarterback situation doesn't get any better. I know your defense is going to, probably give you a couple wins, but if you can't score, obviously you're not going to be able to beat teams. And with the way the Cowboys and the Eagles offenses have looked over one game so far, you're going to need to put up some points.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Looks like you guys are the only team in the NFC East to come out with the dub this week. So
yeah, it's a great week for us Eagles fans. Everybody else is 0-1. Carson Wentz played all of his snaps to get closer to that 70% snap percentage for the season. And if that happens, everybody knows we get another first-round pick. That would be 3 first-round picks next season if that's the case. So, and of course they lost. So that just makes it even better.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm feeling pretty good today. I'll tell you that.
I would be too. I mean, the one thing I will say, I forgot to bring this up at the top. I wanted to give a little update on our fantasy football league, the 301
just to bring me
league,
down a little bit,
where we drafted here live last week. If you were with us, so just a quick update on what happened this week. I played Alex. Week 1, went good for me in this league. A lot of people stepped up. I'll just mention Tyler Lockett had 30. That was my top scorer, up by about 40 points right now. He still does have his tight end and kicker, but yeah. Sorry, Alex. You can get him next week.
Yeah.
You can't have everything this week, man.
I guess not. I mean, especially when Brandon Ayuk puts up a good old goose egg in a game where they score 40 points. Like, what is that? What are the chances of that?
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, just a little update on my game in our league. I played our good friend Elliot. He edged me out this week by about 9 points. I could have won this if Aaron Rodgers, let me just, we all know what Aaron Rodgers is capable of. This guy got 1.32. Sorry, got me all so flustered because I can't believe how bad he did. He got 1.32 points. So I'm like, I just needed 10, and I could have got the dub. So I had a little rough beginning to my fantasy football season, to say the least. Had some great performers though. Tyreek Hill obviously did his thing. Went for 11 catches, 197, and a TD. And then Melvin Gordon, I actually saw the run that he had. Just I couldn't believe it when I seen him like running for that 70-yard run. I was like, wow. And I took a
pretty
chance
much
on
garbage
him.
time too.
Yeah, exactly. But I took a chance on drafting him and turned out well week 1 and just didn't work out overall for me. So
yeah, it's still only week 1. I know a lot of people, it's like the most anticipated week, so people get way too high or way too low. We got a long season ahead of us.
I'm trying to stay grounded as much as I can, but it's very hard right now.
And I'm trying not to just be all the way frustrated with it. Honestly, I'm trying to see the silver linings, but it's tough right now. But we can move on to some other games. I know Miles mentioned Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that's a natural place to go next. They got crushed by the Saints today, 38-3. This game was actually played in Jacksonville as a Saints home game. Obviously, we all know what happened there with the hurricane and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff. All that stuff, I should say, all that bad stuff, really. But Saints came out and played a great game. Jameis Winston,
Jameis.
he had a game. 14 for 20. Not the most yards, only 148, but 5 passing touchdowns. Added on 37 rushing yards, so showing a little bit of mobility there too. No interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers for Jameis today. So, and like, well, I should mention the other side of it too, with Aaron Rodgers 15 for 28, 133 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. If that's just unbelievable. Jameis Winston completely outplayed Aaron Rodgers on this day.
Well, I wouldn't just say, like, I mean, he did, but I'm not just gonna, like, we shouldn't just focus that, because the entire Packers team just wasn't prepared whatsoever. They didn't. The offense looked off. The receiving unit was not. The timing was not there with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones didn't do anything. The offensive line couldn't get any holes for him. The entire Packers team, I know they are. They should be embarrassed by the performance they just put out in Jacksonville, because that was not what anybody expected. And as far as Jameis Winston, he played great with 5 touchdowns. However, every single drive they had, except like 1 or 2, started in the Packers territory because of the interceptions, or there was a 4th and 4 that the Packers went for on their own 20-something yard line, and they didn't get it, and then it was just an easy touchdown because the Packers defense wasn't prepared either. It was just the most shocking result of the weekend, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, how do you go from winning MVP last season to just starting out the first week like that? I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we all know Aaron Rodgers is arguably the greatest quarterback ever, and just for my fantasy team's sake, man, it hurt. It just hurt me, man. Like, it just hurt that he only got 1 point. Like, I'm like, I just needed 10, not even your best game, but yeah, I was honestly very surprised that the Saints played that well.
Yeah.
After not having Drew Brees, obviously, I mean, I didn't think they would pick up that well, and obviously they came out and punched Green Bay in the mouth, and they just took that victory with ease. It was an impressive victory. Obviously, you got to give Jameis his props, because usually he's known for making a lot of turnovers. He executed well. He just followed the game plan, and obviously it showed in the score. But come on, Aaron Rodgers, I needed that, man. Hurt me with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like I kind of predicted this. I didn't know it was going to be this bad in week 1, but I did say that I think the Packers might have a mediocre season as opposed to the last few years where they've been in the NFC Championship game. I'm not taking the victory lap after week 1, like I mentioned earlier with some of the other teams, but it didn't look good, and I think this is a symptom, or not a symptom, but an outcome of just not having good chemistry going into the season, with Aaron Rodgers really not wanting to be there. Who knows about Devontae Adams, because he was also in on posting himself with Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have the greatest game today either. Only 5 for 56, which for him is that's a bad game for him. Yeah, just outright.
If there is any tension in the locker room, that's going to show on the field. And I'm not saying there is. Obviously, we don't know. We're not in the locker room. We're not, that close to it or anything. But based on the performance they had today, it looked like there's still some tension in the locker room between Aaron Rodgers and everybody. Well, not everybody, but Aaron Rodgers and the coaching staff and maybe the front office as well. But, if they don't turn this around soon, then they're probably going to just give Jordan Love the reins, and we'll see what happens. But I have faith. I think the Packers will be fine. They're going to win their division. Aaron Rodgers will turn it around for sure. They're not going to go from having an MVP season and Devontae Adams having 18 touchdowns to them just putting up ducks like this every week. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think we did our over under picks in a episode we did earlier this year, and I'm a little worried about it because I'm pretty sure I did the Packers over, and I think it was like 10 or 11 wins if I'm not mistaken. I'm a little nervous about that now after seeing this week 1 performance. So
I think they can still get 12.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that here when we picked. It was, one site had it at 11 and one had it at 10. So
there is a remember there is an extra game this year. So
definitely good call on that.
Yeah,
and I do agree with you though. Even though I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they were in the past couple of years, their division's not looking that good. Starting with the Vikings, Kirk Cousins. And the Vikings lost to Joe Burrow and the Bengals today in an overtime game. The Bengals led most of the way. Kirk Cousins took them down, got him in field goal range for a game-tying field goal to send it to overtime.
Yeah, the Bengals were up by 10 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And coming back.
I thought the Bengals were going to run away with it at one point.
Yeah.
But they held on in overtime thanks to a Dalvin Cook fumble. Questionable call. I thought he was down. They reviewed it, said there wasn't enough to overturn it, gave the ball to the Bengals, and Joe Burrow took him down for a field goal as time expired in overtime. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings offense looked pretty good. I mean, you're not going to win if Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball almost 50 times. The Vikings offense, I mean, with that said, he didn't look horrible. 36 to 49 for 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I mean, the Vikings, yeah, he did. Justin Jefferson was nowhere to be found in this game. Compared to last year. I mean, he had some catches, but compared to what he was doing last year, he wasn't really too much of a factor. But Dalvin Cook, 20 carries for 60 yards is just not going to do it. And it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Averaging 3 yards a carry, it's just not going to do it, especially when you have an offense like the Bengals have, who has Joe Mixon getting 29 carries for 127 yards. And then, they have those receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
They have a very, very good young team, the Bengals do, or at least offense. I don't know anything about their defense, but there's a lot of excitement going around the Bengals offense right now. But as far as the Vikings go, yeah, they're not going to beat the Packers for that division.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I was surprised about the Bengals. Honestly, haven't really been giving them much respect going into the season. I just didn't think they were that good of a football team, but it was a good win for them. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on them. I thought Jamar Chase, there was a lot of questions on him coming in, a lot of drops in the preseason.
Right.
People were really down on him, but
did you hear what he said?
He played good.
Did you hear what he said himself? He said that
about the footballs.
He wasn't used to an NFL football.
I think he was kind of joking. I
hope he was joking. I mean, he had five for 101 and a touchdown today, so he had a good game. But if that's true about what he said, that's some ridiculous stuff right there.
Yeah, as a receiver, that should never even be on your thought process. Like that,
yeah.
We don't want to hear. We don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that was kind of strange, I will say. But hey, if he keeps playing like this, I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with it.
Nope.
But yeah, we could talk about the other team from the NFC North that played, Detroit Lions. They played at home against the 49ers, led by Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance got in there a little bit, but the 49ers were crushing the Lions. It was 41-17 at the 2-minute warning. Before that in the game, it was 38-10. They were just dominating. And somehow the Lions brought it all the way back to 41-33, which 8-point game, 1 possession. Got the ball back one last time, drove down pretty far into 49ers territory, and then just couldn't finish off the drive. So 49ers pulled that one out 41-33, but I don't know if you guys saw this one. This one of the more exciting finishes.
I missed that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw the end of the game, and the 49ers throughout the day watching the Eagles game, you'd see all the the highlights of the other games, and watching the 49ers, they looked explosive, man. Deebo Samuel looks ridiculous with his speed, and Jimmy Garoppolo looked pretty good, but letting the Lions get back in this game, I know they probably took their foot off the gas, and they had a couple mental lapses, like with Deebo Samuel fumbling the football to give the Lions a chance again. But the 49ers are a very good football team. They just can't let those mental lapses happen against better teams because they'll pay.
Yeah, 100%, man. Also, I don't know if you said it, but they allowed them to recover an onside kick, which
Yeah.
there was only, I believe, 4 recovered in the whole season last year across the whole league. So that's unacceptable. It was George Kittle, too, who dropped the ball and just
Wow.
so completely unexpected. And another guy, Deebo Samuel, who up until this point had an amazing game, 9 catches, 189 yards, and a touchdown. But he fumbled with about a minute left. And that's what gave the Lions the ball back.
Yeah.
Kittle had also lost a fumble before that. And yeah, they showed that they can be dominant. They also showed that you got to finish football games in this league because teams they're not going to give up.
Right.
And just last note on this game, Raheem Mostert went out in the first quarter with the injury. I believe it was
Yeah.
a knee injury, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But if you're a fantasy player, Elijah Mitchell, 19 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown.
Didn't he break the rookie record for a debut? Something like that.
That I don't know.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong with that, but I thought I saw that. Could be wrong though.
Yeah, I mean, either way, impressive game from the rookie for sure. 6th round pick. Trey Sermon, that's the name I was looking for. He was inactive. I know a lot of people were high on him coming into the season. He was a 3rd round pick this year, so hey, look out for Elijah Mitchell maybe. But yeah, from there we can move on. We're already almost a half hour in. I want to get through most of these games. We don't got to cover all of them because some of them people really just don't care. I wanted to be nice about it, but hey, it is what it is. We could talk about this game, the Steelers beating the Bills. That was, I thought, one of the bigger upsets of the day. Obviously, a lot of people have the Bills winning it all, at least going to Super Bowl, AFC Championship. They were in the AFC Championship last year. So, interesting game here. Steelers pull it out 23-16. Looking at the stats, it wasn't really a huge offensive game for any of the players. But
Yeah.
Steelers, I feel like I think they were down 10-0 to start out. And from there, they scored 20 unanswered points, went up 20-10 with a blocked punt in early in the 4th quarter. And from there, yeah, they just closed out the game. Solid game from them. What do you think? Are you nervous at all for the Bills?
I'm nervous that they don't have a run game at all. This was a worry that I had dating back to last year. They don't have a run game whatsoever. I mean, they're just going to rely on Josh Allen's arm, which isn't the worst thing in the world because Josh Allen is a very good quarterback. But not having a run game is going to affect you, and I think it happened today. I mean, Josh Allen threw the ball 50 times, and normally when you see a team throw the ball that many times, it just isn't a good sign. I'm worried that they don't have a run game, and when they play against really good defenses that know how to take away, Stephon Diggs and the pass game, what are they going to do? Because they can't run the ball. So I am a little worried about that. But Steelers are a very good team. They're a very good defense. So once the opponents start to not be as good, we'll start to see the Bills get their rhythm. I think they're going to win their division still.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I still think they're a good team. Like you said, it is worrisome. They don't run the ball at all. And honestly, I don't even know if they like just can't run the ball, but they just choose not to.
They just don't.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's weird.
it's very strange. Even games when they're winning, I know they were down. Well, they were up for a lot of the game, and then they got down for a lot of the game. But the whole time, yeah, the run game just completely non-existent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from there we can go to another. I feel like surprising result here. The Arizona Cardinals beat the Tennessee Titans 38-13 today. Wasn't the Titans debut that we were all looking for Julio Jones. He was pretty non-existent in this one.
Even Derrick Henry for his standards.
Yeah, 100%. You guys probably know I have him in that 301 league. I was happy to get him with the 5th pick, but not a good day for him at all. I think he ended with about like 60 yards on the ground or something like that. So tough day overall. Ryan Tannehill lost 2 fumbles, threw an interception. Kyler Murray, maybe the player of the week this week.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, 289 passing yards, 20 rushing yards to go with it. So over 300 total yards, 5 total touchdowns. He did have an interception, but hey, can't be perfect all the time, right?
Nope. Just got to get the dub at the end of the day. And he did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise for me wasn't the Cardinals' offense. We kind of expect that from them. They're they just light it up. You know, it doesn't matter.
DeAndre Hopkins had a game too.
Yeah, but
And Christian
the
Kirk.
biggest surprise for me was Chandler Jones having 5 sacks. 3 of them in the first quarter. Taylor Lewan tweeted out after the game, the left tackle or the right tackle, I forget which side he plays on, tweeted out to Chandler Jones. He said, "Thank you for showing me how bad I am," pretty much. And he did exactly that. And the Cardinals defense I think it's going to surprise a lot of people this year. A lot of people forget that they signed J.J. Watt as well. So having Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, Isaiah Simmons, Buda Baker. I mean, they have a very star-studded roster on both sides of the ball. It just took them a little while to get going last year, and then, or actually, I'm sorry, they kind of choked at the end of last year, not making the playoffs, because they were in that wild card spot and they had it for the taking. So having that experience, and having all these studs on both sides of the ball, I think this team is going to be very good, very hard to stop, very hard to beat. And every time I think about it, this NFC West is going to be insane to predict. We don't know what team's going to win. We don't know how they're going to win. All 4 teams have potential to go to the NFC Championship game, which you can never ever say that about an entire division. So it's 4 very good teams, and it's going to be really fun to watch how that division unfolds. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Cardinals. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Cardinals are a very dangerous team. We pretty much mentioned everyone. DeAndre Hopkins had a great game. Kirk had a great performance, and they just executed. I think I know you, Alex, you mentioned they did lose it kind of at the end of last season, but I still think they're kind of like picking back up from where they were and like kind of keeping it rolling. Yeah, they had a bad end of the season, but I think they built on that, and I think as long as they keep executing, I mean, Kyler Murray is a dynamic player. I mean, he can run, and now he's starting to be able to throw the ball with consistency. He's getting the ball in the end zone, doing well in the red zone. So yeah, I think they're going to be dangerous, and they have the tools. Looks like the only thing that might be able to stop them is health. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. And my last thought really on the Cardinals is I didn't expect J.J. Watt to make such a big impact as he did today. I don't know if, just one game they had a great game plan set up for the Titans or what. But if he's going to play like he did today, which obviously we know he can do, he's former multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year winner.
Yeah.
I just, I thought he was a little bit older in age and that, he's starting to slow down so that, I like the impact he had every time they would go to that game. He was in the backfield. I know one of the plays he stuffed Derrick Henry at the goal line. like pretty much all by himself. If it wasn't for him, Derrick Henry probably would have scored. So
Yeah.
that was a great play, and just opening it up for Chandler Jones to get 5 sacks. I think this team could be for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every team, every great team needs a really good quarterback, really good weapons on offense, and then a really good pass rush. That's normally how successful teams are built, and the Cardinals have all three of those, so they're going to be very good.
100%. And we can stick in that division too. The Seattle Seahawks went into Indianapolis, beat the Colts. Carson Wentz debut. Russell Wilson was about as efficient as it gets. 18 for 23, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Went crazy today.
Yeah.
That bomb he had to Tyler Lockett was amazing. That pass was just amazing. Landed right in the pocket. That was such a nice throw.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett got behind the defense. I was gonna ask which bomb, because he got behind them twice for 2 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Went for only 4 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So game breaking speed right there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get your thoughts, Alex. Carson Wentz, 25 for 38, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did lose a fumble.
Yeah.
What did you see out there?
Yeah, I saw Carson Wentz holding the ball too long and getting sacked when, it's the same Carson Wentz that we saw last year. After, through the offseason, I went back and watched, and I tried to figure out why the offense wasn't working with him. I mean, other than Doug Peterson's offense being horrible and not being able to get guys open, and the offensive line was struggling at times, Carson Wentz held on to the ball way too long, all the time, and he tried to do way too much. And I saw that multiple times in the game today. He got sacked, I think, 3 or 4 times, and on one of them he lost. One of them he lost a fumble, and he has way too many fumbles since he's become a starter in the league. He just loses the ball too much. He doesn't take care of it. But at the same time, you see the arm talent in some of the touchdowns that he throws. So I think that the case is still out there. Like I said, the Seahawks are a very good team. We'll see, how Carson looks throughout the season. I thought he was going to be, a possible MVP, just be in the top 5 or top 10 for MVP voting, because he's back with Frank Reich on a good offensive line with good weapons. So yeah, we'll see. I just saw Carson Wentz doing way too much, like I saw all last year, and 2 years before that, or the year before that as well. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, offense didn't look good today for the Colts, like you said. I did want to bring up, though, Zach Pascal, 4 catches, 43 yards, pulled in 2 touchdowns, though. Maybe a little sleeper for fantasy. Who knows? We'll see. But, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, NFC West, the 3 teams that played earlier today won. Got the Rams-Bears game on. Right now, the Rams are up 13-0. So it looks like they're probably going to win this one, too. I mean, it's still early. Don't get me wrong, but this is what we expected. So
unless the Bears put in Justin Fields, and even they won't do anything. Even then, I don't even know if that'll matter, because the Rams are just very good. There are a lot of people Super Bowl pick for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
they're looking good right now, I will say. But we can talk about my Super Bowl pick. I pick them every game, no matter what. If this guy's playing, I'm picking him. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Great game.
Yeah, they played a great game today against the Browns. Sure. Yeah, 100%.
The Browns are for real.
The Browns looked like they were going to take this one for a decent stretch there.
Until Tony Romo jinxed it. They go up by 9, and then he said, yeah, it looks like they're going to possibly walk out of here. There was still 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter when he said that. So, yeah.
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure right after that, the Chiefs scored on the very next play. 75-yard touchdown.
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
Yep. So, Yeah, some stats from this one. Mahomes 27 for 36, 337, 3 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Baker Mayfield 21 for 28, 321 yards, no touchdowns, and he had an interception that pretty much sealed the game at the end. Got hit. Looked like he was trying to throw it away maybe, but he got hit while he was throwing it, went right to the defensive back, and that was it. But yeah, Tyreek Hill. I know Miles mentioned it earlier, but 11 catches, 197 yards and a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
Dude is just a game breaker kind of player, man. Like the stats he can put up in any given game is.
I mean, every time I watch him, his speed is still just so
different.
shocking. Like it's just
different.
It
Yeah.
really is, man. Like I watched Deshaun Jackson play, when he was in his prime, and his speed was crazy. But
It was different.
watching Tyreek Hill run with the football, or even just run just a go route, he's gone, and you can't even. There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. I mean, this is probably the only player in the NFL that actually has like Olympic caliber speed. So you just put that with a good football player. I mean, that's just a deadly combination. And his stats just showed. I mean, how he does it, he makes it look like these guys aren't even like you can't guard. No one can guard him one-on-one at least. I mean, you're gonna have to send 2 at him a lot of the time and just keep him contained.
Contain him.
Yeah,
Right.
just contain. But I mean, once he gets in the open field, if he makes that first guy miss, I mean. Dude's box office, and he's special. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have him like considered as the best receiver in the league, but I mean, he can honestly make it. Like the last 2 years, he can make an argument for it. Dude's an amazing player. Dude's an amazing player. I mean, like he makes all the catches that a lot of these big receivers make. He going over the top of people, catching it over him, running by him, juking him. I mean, he's got one of the deepest bags in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does. It also helps when on plays like the long touchdown when Mahomes is just running to the right and throws it 50 yards in the air, just chucks it up.
Mahomes is ridiculous.
And it's just right on point. It helps when you have that kind of weapon at quarterback for a guy like Tyreek Hill, no doubt.
I swear most of Patrick Mahomes, like his on the move throws are just as accurate as his like stationary throws.
If not more accurate.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
amazing. Like I'll never forget that diving throw he did in the Super Bowl that the guy didn't catch, but it hit him right in the hit him right in the head. But I'm like, dude, it's just amazing. Patrick Mahomes, he's different too. They have 2 different players on there. 3 if you can include Travis Kelce, because he had a good game too, and he's probably gonna have that sort of game every game.
Yeah.
He's pretty much unstoppable at his position. So Chiefs are looking like they could be right back on their way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, maybe another MVP. Who knows?
Gotta give the Browns a little credit that because they did look really good.
Yeah, I believe in the Browns.
They definitely can play with the Chiefs. That's for sure.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Based on week 1, and we haven't watched the Ravens play yet because they play tomorrow night, but so far, I would say based on the performances we saw today, the Browns are the favorites to win that division for me.
And with no Odell too, so if Odell comes back,
Man,
and
he should just stop.
Hey, I believe in.
Always hurt.
That's
I believe in him
tough.
still.
That's a tough statement, man. I don't know, man. The Browns, the Steelers.
Yeah, last year they were better without him.
The Steelers,
Yeah.
they beat the Bills today. We can't sleep on that. And I reserve the right to wait for the Ravens, even though they've lost their first and second string running back now.
Third, too. All 3 of them, right? J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and then the.
Oh yeah, Justice
somebody
Hill.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
That's brutal.
All gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So
crazy.
I still think they're going to be able to get it done this year. I'm not saying they're going to be in the Super Bowl or anything, but I still like the Ravens in that division personally. But it's going to be tough. The Browns look good,
Yeah,
I will say.
Yeah, I personally I'm not like the biggest fan of the Ravens' weapons. I mean, I understand like Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, but I mean their weapons are kind of just they're just a little suspect compared to the rest of the league. So I think their defense is going to carry them a long way, but I don't know, their offense is a little in the average zone for me. Like I don't know, I still got to see it.
I feel it. I just trust the run game. I think they're going to be the number 1 rushing team. I think that it really doesn't matter who you put at running back. When you have Lamar Jackson, it just opens up so much.
Yeah.
But passing, yeah, probably be last in the league in that again. So,
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if that works. Yeah. But yeah, we can move on. Really, the last game I wanted to talk about today with Dolphins beating the Patriots. Mac Jones made his NFL debut playing against former teammate Tua Tagovailoa on the Dolphins. Tua's team pulled out the win. He didn't have the greatest numbers, though. 16-27, 202 yards, a touchdown. Well, 2 touchdowns if you include the rushing touchdown. Also had an interception. Mac Jones on the other side, though, 29 for 39, 281 yards and a touchdown in the loss. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Do you think either of these teams can compete with the Bills for that division?
No, I don't.
I don't think so.
I like what the Dolphins are doing defensively. They have a lot of really good guys. I mean, their head coach was Brian Flores, or is Brian Flores, the former defensive coordinator for the Patriots. So these two coaches like had each other's number pretty much with what the game plan was going to be. Obviously, they play each other twice a year anyway, so the teams are very familiar with one another. It was just a good divisional, hard-fought game. A lot of turnovers, and with the Patriots, that's very rare for a Patriots Bill Belichick-led team. But it was just a good game. I was excited. I was happy to see Nelson Aguilar get in the end zone. I'm always rooting for his success, even though he, dropped a lot of balls for us, but he helped us win the Super Bowl, so I'm always rooting for him. And seeing Jalen Waddle get in the end zone too was very good for the Dolphins, I think, and their confidence and his confidence especially.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think the Dolphins are a good team, but I think the Bills are just in a different class right now. Just because of Tua, I'm not completely sold on him yet.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask both of you guys. Do you guys believe in Tua? Like, do you think he's like going to be like that long-term quarterback for them, or you think he's kind of just?
I don't know, man.
I feel like I don't trust him for some reason.
It's very hard to say. I know it. Like last year, I remember Chris was all over this. The Dolphins should have kept Fitzpatrick in because they were playing better and they looked better with Tua in there. I agree with that. 16. He only had 16 completions today. I don't know. Well, the Patriots defense is good. I just gotta wait and see for me. I mean, I don't know what they would do. They don't really have a good backup anymore. It's not like they can just bench him for somebody who can just come and be better than him. So I mean, they gotta
stuck with him now.
They gotta ride. They gotta ride or die with him. And if he's not it, then they're gonna die with him very easily.
I mean, that's a lot to put on his shoulders if it's pretty much ride or die with him at this point already.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just gonna have to he's gonna have to execute.
I don't think it'd be too much like mentally. I just don't think. I just don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't think he has it. I just don't know at this point if he can be a legit franchise quarterback. Right. He has his moments where he looks very good, but then he has his moments where he just doesn't either. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I just feel like most franchise quarterbacks, even when they're on losing teams, which he's not. He's on a good team right now, but like they show a lot of flashes of like, oh, this guy could be really good. And when I watch Tua, I don't really see that. Like, and I haven't seen that in a long time since he was at Alabama, really. And then, you got to ask the question: was he really the best quarterback, or did he just have the best weapons?
He just had that game,
I'm not sold on Tua. I know when Derek was doing some shows with me over the winter and stuff, or over the off season, I should say, we talked about Tua a lot, and he was a fan of Tua. And we made a bet that Tua wouldn't throw more than 23 touchdowns. So he only threw 1 today. I think I'm on the winning side of that so far, but I'm just, that shows you where I am, because 23 touchdowns passing in a 17-game season is not a lot.
That's not at all, yeah.
So I'm very low on it.
Yeah. I think I agree with both. Yeah, I'm not completely sold on him. Just have to see more, but there's just something about him. I just don't get that vibe. Like he's like that guy. I just don't see it.
Right.
And then I'm sure his weapon. He obviously doesn't have like the best weapon. So I mean, it's just gonna make his job a little bit harder. So, I mean, we'll see. He might thrive. He might do great. But I don't know, just my evaluation. I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time will tell for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see. He's got 16 more games at least to prove it. So from there, I guess I can just highlight some of these other final scores here. The Buccaneers beat the Cowboys on Thursday night, 31-29.
One of the best opening night games we've seen.
Yeah,
that was a
in a
great
long
game.
time. It was a very good game. Look, I don't want to talk too much about this.
Nah, go ahead.
Running out of time, but I will officially say that I was wrong about Dak Prescott. A couple years ago.
He's real.
A couple years ago, I said I
He's
didn't think he
nice.
was it. Dak is that guy. He's becoming an elite quarterback. I mean, last year, if he didn't get hurt, who knows what kind of numbers he would have put up.
So he's
he just-
100% better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I'll say that now. I'll say that now. Yeah. 400 yards on Thursday night, 3 touchdowns. He looked great. CeeDee Lamb looks so good. Amari Cooper, I had my doubts on Amari Cooper, but he looks legit too. That offense is gonna be very good. But same story last year. Dak has a great game, but they lose anyway. Same thing happened when he was playing last year. That defense can't stop anybody. Now, granted, they did play against Tom Brady and the champs, so
I mean, but you knew it was gonna happen. If you were watching the game
yeah.
and they were kicking
Yeah.
the field goal with about a
Right.
minute and a half left,
Yeah, Tom Brady had
Ooh.
too much. Tom Brady
Yeah.
had too much time.
and
With-
they had a
especially-
timeout. Yeah, you knew.
Yeah, especially with the way Antonio Brown was getting open, Gronk was
Yeah.
playing, Mike Evans, all the weapons were just playing really well, and the offensive line was doing a good job protecting him. So
And Mike Evans didn't even have a good game, but yeah, AB picked it up. They're gonna be crazy if AB's showing the flashes of how he was back on the Steelers.
He looked great.
Man.
They're gonna
Man.
be, and him and Tom Brady have that connection. They might be crazy. They might go crazy.
and
this
Chris
season.
Godwin had a great game, 9
Yeah.
catches for 105 and a
Yeah,
touchdown.
facts.
Gronk had 8 or 9 catches and 2 touchdowns.
This man Tom Brady got all the weapons.
Yeah, I mean,
I said it last year. I'm gonna say it again. It's by far the most talent he's had on offense in his career. It's not even close.
Yeah,
I
and
know-
even
I
Leonard
know-
Fournette.
I know he had Randy Moss in his prime at one point, but that was just one guy, and with Wes
Yeah.
Welker. But Wes Welker doesn't compare to Chris Godwin as a number 2, or Mike Evans as a number 2 or number 1. It's just they have 3 legit number 1 receivers and arguably the
Legit.
greatest tight end of all time. So
Yeah,
it's crazy. And that dude Tristan Wirfs, that right tackle, oh my God, he's a beast.
yeah,
By far, I think he's the best right tackle in the league. He's only in his second year. He's so good.
yeah, he's been great.
I
since
think he has a
stepped on the field.
13-game streak of not allowing a sack or something. It's the longest active streak
that's
in the league.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was dominant down the stretch for them.
Yeah.
As a rookie. But yeah, I mean, from there, the other real games around the league, Broncos beat the Giants 27-13. Yeah, I don't think anybody really, unless you're a fan of one of those teams. But same here, Panthers beat the Jets 19-14. I will make the note, though, Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, a little bit of a revenge game. Darnold went for 279, 2
Yeah.
touchdowns. He did lose a fumble, but he played pretty well. They were up 19-0, I think, and then the Jets tried to fight back. But yeah, that's another one where
Christian McCaffrey, man.
Yeah, I was gonna
98
say
98 yards on the ground, 89 yards in the air.
With no
He's just-
touchdowns, but still just balling and affecting the game in a very positive way.
He gets 23 points in fantasy football without getting touched.
That's a bad game. That's a bad game for him.
It's exactly it's insane. He's insane.
yeah, because 89 yards from your number one receiver, that's solid. 98 yards from your running back, that's
9
good.
catches too. 9 catches too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good receiver game and a good running back game. You're getting 2 players in
Yeah,
one. So.
yeah,
Legit.
yeah.
And then wait till he puts the touchdowns.
Oh,
With
yeah.
a performance like
What?
that is
1 or 2 touchdowns on top
Yeah.
of all that. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
because he's gonna break loose a few games this season. Obviously, he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go crazy.
100%. And then, the last game, this disappointed for my bold pick of the Jaguars being 500. Thought this was an easily winnable game, but they lost to the
Oh, yeah.
Texans 37-21. Rough
I'm
game
not even
for
gonna lie.
Trevor Lawrence, 3 picks.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know who the quarterback was gonna be for the Texans. I had no clue. I
Tyrod.
didn't realize it was Tyrod Taylor. When I realized that, I was like, oh, they're not gonna be as bad as I thought. Um, I, and they weren't. Brandon Cooks had a day. He had like 130 yards or something like that. Who for some reason, which I don't
132,
understand,
yeah.
Brandon Cooks is a very good
He's
receiver.
good.
But he goes
On any team.
all over the league. He's like I don't understand why he gets traded so much, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess good for the Texans, but I mean
Yeah.
they're not gonna really do too much.
Yeah, nah. I don't expect too much from either of these teams, to be honest, but I will say the Texans, their trio of recycled running backs, Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, David Johnson, they all got touchdowns today. It was a great day for the running back room in Houston.
But I wouldn't call Philip Lindsay a recycled running back. It's only his second
Yeah,
team,
that's
and he was
true.
an undrafted free agent. I think he was just wanted he just wanted some money.
I like Philip Lindsay. He's a solid player.
Yeah, he
I
is.
like his game.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you love to see, the undrafted free agent making an impact.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're starting to run up against the time here. So I guess we'll leave it at there for the we'll leave it at that, I guess, or we'll leave it there. One of those two. I was going for that. But unless you guys have anything else with the NFL talk, hey,
No, I can't.
Oh man, I'm just so happy it's back.
Yeah.
yeah, that roar of the crowd today was just great
Oh.
coming out of the TV. Not the fake, crowd
Not the
noise
fake
when you
stuff,
see
yeah.
no one in the stands and it's not real. But
Right.
it was awesome.
Well, yeah, just I think I mentioned this last week, but I'll be at the Giants versus Washington game on I think it's Thursday night football game.
Yeah.
So definitely recap everyone about that once we get back on Sunday. So looking forward to that.
Hopefully, no sewage ends up falling on your head or something.
I'll be gone. I'll be out of that area. I did see that. I did see that.
Man,
That's disgusting.
how embarrassing is that, man? Like,
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
embarrassed, man. As a
out
fan,
of
I
all
heard-
the teams, of course.
it's always us,
I
bro.
heard- I heard-
Always.
I have heard horror stories about that stadium. I've been there a few times when the Eagles have been.
awful.
I never experienced anything too bad, but I've heard some horror stories, and obviously that tops them all. Sewage, a sewage pipe bursting and landing on some seats. That's
Like, of course.
awful. That's awful.
Yeah. Game 1. Yeah. But look, I mean, we got to get into a couple other sports here before we get out of here. Got to touch on the U.S. Open wrapped up this weekend. Starting with the men. Huge upset in the final. Daniil Medvedev.
Dude, serious.
Yeah, he's really good. This was his
This
first
dude's so
Grand
good.
Slam title. He beat Djokovic in straight sets, which
Whew.
that's incredible in itself. 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 every time. Just that one break you need to win the set. Played,
Stop Djokovic's Grand Slam.
yeah,
hopes.
that's what I was going to bring up. That's devastating for Djokovic. I mean, not really, because, like,
Yeah.
I still
He
think he's
wins
the
like
greatest.
75%. Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been just like that accomplishment of just
Yeah.
I dominated this whole year and nobody could beat me. So
Yeah,
Big
and to
win.
speak on this guy, didn't this guy beat him in the Olympics too for the I think this same guy beat him for the gold medal in the Olympics too, if I'm not mistaken. And I know 'cause
I didn't follow
Djokovic-
that honestly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this guy, or he beat him in the semifinals. I'm not sure. I don't think it was the finals, but I think he beat Djokovic in the semifinals, which I'm like, so then and there, that's when I knew like this Medvedev. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but
Nah,
yeah,
you
this dude's a young 25-year-old. So I mean, this guy's just scratching his prime, and obviously he's got the whole stature of a great tennis player. I mean, he's fairly tall. I think he's like 6'4" or something. Got crazy good serve, great defense. So I mean, he's looking like he's on his way to a world number one within the next few years, if he's not there already, which I think.
Yeah, I know Novak was trying to get trying to break the record of that Nadal and Federer have at 20. 20
Oh yeah, he's
Grand
gonna.
Slams.
He'll
yeah,
get it,
he's gonna go past it.
I know he wanted
easily.
to get this one. Hearing him talk
Yeah.
about it, but yeah, he'll get it. He'll probably get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the goat.
It was good to see Medvedev break through though,
Yeah.
for sure. And then No, go.
It's sorry, my bad, Chris, but yeah, it's tough to.
oh,
I
kind of cut out on the audio there. I don't know if that was just on my end or.
No, I cut out for me too. I didn't hear what
Oh,
I
yeah,
had.
sorry. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying, it's just unfortunate to see Federer and Nadal just with all these injuries and they can't stay healthy and make it into these tournaments. It's because these are the next two best guys, but it's giving room for other people to show up. So
Yeah, I think their era's kind of coming to an end. It's sad for me to see, like we've said before, they were, especially Nadal, him and Federer, that rivalry was one of my favorite. Like, I lived for that match in every major tournament. You knew they were going to meet up, so.
It was one of the best, and it's one of the best rivalries in all of sports. Is just legendary because they were both at the top of their game at the same time, and they were both considered the greatest at pretty much at the same time. So it's special with them. But yeah, I think their age is just father time just caught up with them.
Very similar to the Messi Ronaldo debate and those battles that they had.
Yeah, 100%. And I was gonna say on the women's side too, same kind of deal with Serena Williams getting too old. It's sad to say, but I think the era is over.
She needs to get that one more. She needs that one more.
Yeah, we need it. We need
that
So
Serena.
I think she'll get at least one more.
I don't know,
man.
Some
Some of these young
one girl from
girls.
Australia. Yeah, this one girl from Australia. She's I forgot her name, but she's so nice. Like she's really good. And then Naomi Osaka. I don't know what's been going up with her because she is always like she stops playing for like all these events and stuff that's happening like outside of tennis, and it's kind of showing she's getting distracted very easily. And I'm not saying that she has to be obligated to tennis. Obviously, she can do what she wants, but I don't know. You don't want to see that from like a top player just getting distracted so easily. I will say that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We're hoping that she comes back for sure soon. Because she is maybe the best player right now.
Yeah.
But without her, we did get a pretty good final. It ended up being two unranked in this tournament, at least, teenagers. Wow. Emma Raducanu. I know I'm not saying it right, but I feel very bad because she won the tournament. I should know her name. Obviously, her first major tournament win. She defeated Leylah Fernandez. Yeah, but like I said, both unranked. Emma, I'm just gonna go with her first name on this, but she's 18 years old. She's an 18-year-old British tennis player, ranked 150th coming into the tournament.
Wow!
Literally the first player to ever win a Grand Slam tournament after surviving the qualifying tournament. So that in itself is amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
First
incredible.
British woman to win a major since 1977. So, kudos to her. Feel bad though, man. Coco Gauff. There were so many Americans that I was rooting for. Yeah. But we'll get them next time. And I guess for this episode, I guess we're a little bit past an hour. We're trying to keep it at an hour, but we had a couple more things to get in there. You guys have anything else before we get out of here tonight?
I don't. It's great to have the NFL back, man. It's that long stretch from February to September without the NFL. I mean, the NBA fills in for a while, and then there's that. But once the NBA is over, that little 3 month stretch of baseball or whatever's going on is very, very long. So it's great to have the NFL back.
Yeah. And just real quick, just shout out to some of the track and field athletes. Elaine Thompson won the Diamond League, just still dominating the 100 meters. She's on her way to being the greatest woman sprinter of all time. She might already be if you look at all her stats and her wins and her accolades. You can easily make the argument. And then shout out to a couple of the United States men. Kenneth Benderek, I believe he won. I think it was the 100, or I can't remember if he won the 100 or the 200. But yeah, just shout out to some of the American guys for the sprints. They're getting some dubs. Beat Andre DeGrasse, Canadian. So that's a big win for the and this is Diamond League, so this is going into the World Championship season. So these are some big races and all best competitions there. So shout out to the United States for getting a couple wins.
Definitely. We're going to keep an eye on all that, the track and field. I know we got some soccer that we wanted to talk about. Definitely going to talk about it next week. We'll maybe start off with that because there's big stuff going on over there. But hey, if you made it this far, we'd like to say thank you for the support. You're a true sports nerd like us, and we appreciate it for sure. If you're watching on YouTube with us right now live, go ahead and like the stream, subscribe to our channel. Really helps us grow, really helps get us in front of more people. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, any of those things, follow us wherever you get your podcast. And yeah, just keep nerding it up, honestly. Just help us out, man. All right, see you guys. Everybody. I didn't end the stream, so see you.